Hello everybody and welcome to a new video for Luck Poker. Today we are going to study single raise spots. More specifically, we are going to see how should be our Cbet strategy in position on ace-high boards. First of all, guys, sorry if I didn't post anything in the last couple of weeks, but I was busy on vacation, let's say. But I'm back, and now we start with some analysis on GTO Wizard on flop strategies. I will use the report function of the software, and I will insert a classical single raise spot situation, and I will select button versus big blind in single raise spots. Then I will put some filter and, well, let's make the big blind check, of course, because we are interested in the Cbet strategy of the button in this case. And I will now put some filter choosing only ace-high boards. So we choose the highest card is the ace. Okay, as you see, something which may be surprising for some players is that, theoretically speaking, ace-high boards request a Cbet less frequently than all the average boards. So I know a lot of players who just Cbet any two cards on ace-high boards with 1/3 pot size, but you know, on a theoretically perspective, that's definitely not the case. It's actually pretty far from the truth. If you are on a ace-high board, well, we should check more often than we are betting. And also the sizing we use, yeah, of course we use a lot the small size, but also the bigger ones are used in a, let's say, relevant way. So before speaking about sizes, which is going to be very interesting, let's focus on the frequencies. So I will just simplify this, let's say, chart with only bet or check, and I will do it this way. And let's see which are the ace-high board we are checking the most and which one are we betting the most. So, of course, no surprises, the ace-high boards we are checking the most are the flush, the monotone one, let's say. Then we see that also the ace-high board with the, let's say, the wheel down there and the flush, or like ace-4 deuce, are typically checked pretty frequently. No surprises also here, because you know, this kind of ace-high board is still pretty low and it connects kind of well versus the big blind calling range. We have some ace-high plus Broadway plus low card board, and we will see here also the sizing is very interesting. But yeah, you know, mainly the ace-high boards we see bet the less are pretty much connected and draw heavy, while the one we are betting the most are, well, of course, the paired ones we are betting almost every single time, also the triple one, of course. And yeah, mainly we have also, well, also this kind of three Broadways kind of boards have a very high Cbet frequency. Then from them on, let's say all strategies bet and check are pretty much mixed and there is not a predominant one. Let's go with the sizes, which is going to be, as I said, very interesting. So I will put back all the sizes. We will work on 4 possible sizings: small, like 33%, half pot, 3/4 pot, and overbet. First of all, I would like to see on which board is usually best to use the small size. And we see that, of course, the ace-high pair board is basically a board in which we use the small one. It makes sense. I mean, it's pretty fine. Also, the other pair boards, not with the ace, as you see, they prefer the small sizing, and I think it's not very surprising here. We also have those kind of very disconnected ace-high boards which use a small size. I would say here it's just important to note that yes, we use a small size, but we are not betting range. Here I think is where most people make a mistake when they try to play optimal. They bet range on this kind of board when it's clearly not the case. Beware, I'm not saying that in-game you should not do that, because I think in most fields, especially at low stakes, c-betting range on these boards with a small size may still be kind of decent, especially because people defend pretty poorly to that. But, you know, if you're playing versus a very strong opponent and you are trying to play GTO, well, I think you should be aware of that. On the other spectrum of sizes, there is the overbet, and that's what we are going to look now. I think it's very interesting because most people do never Cbet overbet on the flop, when it's something we should really do sometimes on ace-high boards, as we see. It's the second most used size on this kind of board, so it's somewhat relevant. And as you see, we overbet also more frequently than do we overbet in general. So let's see, where are we overbetting? And there will be a clear pattern. As you see, well, first of all, of course, no surprises. When you overbet, your Cbet frequency is usually low. And your range, and your c-betting range is going to be very polarized. If you want to see what all these boards have in common, well, they have the ace, they have another Broadway, king or queen usually, but even with a jack sometimes, and a lower card. So it's like ace plus Broadway plus X, let's say. And it doesn't matter much if the board is suited with a, I mean, if there is a flush draw or not. It's something which happens on all these kind of boards. And it's something which people really do not do. So I think it's definitely something you should consider if you're trying to improve your game on a theoretically optimal perspective. And yeah, I mean, do not exclude this sizing when it happens. So when do we bet instead something in the middle? And we will see that very frequently when you bet like half pot is also bet with a 75% pot. So maybe we could just bet something in the middle of them, like 60% pot, and have only 1/3 size to simplify our things. Well, it's usually here. You see this kind of board where it's still ace high plus Broadway, but this time the third card is not a X, it's another Broadway. So all these boards like 3 Broadways kind of flops, we like to bet with mid-size. And as you see, they're pretty much mixed. On this board, to be honest, not only the medium size is okay, I mean not only 50% and 75, but also the small one is used. So if you want to have a board with multiple sizes, well, this is the one. But if you just want to simplify your life and use only one, I would say we should pick the one in the middle, of course, no? Because if on a spot, let's say we're betting like 33% of the times small, 33% of the time medium, and 33% of the times big, let's say. Well, if I had to pick one, of course I would pick the one in the middle, and we are not gonna make many mistakes. And if you see, our betting range is pretty much like this. In all these kind of boards, we bet with the 3 different sizes in a very similar percentage. Another board which prefers those kind of medium to big sizes is the ace 9-8 suited, for example. Those kind of boards which are ace XX, but there is some kind of connection there in the middle. They bet on the bigger side usually. And that's pretty much it. As you see, you know, if we split the ace-high boards in some categories, it's going to be easy to see which size we use and how frequently. Keep in mind that ace-high, theoretically speaking, is not a bet range with 1/3 and that's it. It may be, again, in some fields. But keep in mind what happens on pair boards. Keep in mind what happens on ace plus Broadway plus X. Try to keep in mind what happens on the 3 Broadway kind of ace-high board, and I think you will be able to have a much better Cbet strategy when you are in position in these situations, which are very frequent because ace-high boards are the most frequent one. So thanks for watching. I remind you that if you're interested in GTO Wizard, with our link you will have a 10% discount on your first subscription. You will know that it works when you see under the payment option a yellow line saying you get a 10% discount thanks to XShove. And also, if you like my content, if you always want to be up to date with my videos, please subscribe and turn on notifications. This is the best way to support the channel and motivate us to keep it growing. Thank you again for watching and see you in the next video.